I'm kind of sweaty today because I was just at the pool tanning. But I was tanning and journaling about a subject that is quite important in my opinion, and it's how to say no to any situation that you need to say no to. Whether you know deep down that you should say no or you want to say no, whatever the case may be. And this is going to apply for small situations. Like the first time I recorded the small example that I gave, it was so dumb. So I'm going to say a different one. But let's pretend that it's an hour before you have to go to work. You're bleeding out. You need tampons. Okay. So you were planning to go to the grocery store to get tampons and some milk and whatever real quick before you go to work. But then your coworker who lives 20 minutes in the opposite direction calls you and is like, "Oh my god, can you please pick me up again? Like my car." And keep in mind, this person never really does much for you. Like never really has helped you out. Kind of just asks for things and doesn't really give because you take care of yourself. Like you don't need anything anyways. But they never really go out of their way to help you. But the old me would not know how to say no to that. The old me would be like, "Oh my god, absolutely," and like change my whole day. Literally bleed through my fucking pants because I don't have any tampons just to go pick them up because I was too scared to say no. Like they can find someone else. Like you're not the only person on earth. They can ask someone else to get a ride. They can get an Uber. They can take the bus. They can ask another coworker. They could fucking fix their car. Like there's a lot of things they can do before they like you can say no. It's okay. You're not gonna hurt their feelings. If you have things to do, like it might just be groceries to you. Like in your head, you might think, "Oh well, it's just like that's not that important." Like obviously, picking them up is more important. Like they literally can't even get to work. Yeah, if they can't find anyone else, if they're like horribly, horribly desperate and like offer to pay you money, like offer to give you gas money, like literally are so grateful and thankful. Okay, you know what? Be nice. Like be nice, of course. But if they're like, "Oh my god, please pick me up," like, and they're not even that fucking nice about it, just say no. It's okay. You don't even have to explain yourself. You don't even have to stress. Like, "Oh no, how am I gonna tell them? Like, I'm gonna have to make something up." No, you don't. I have to get groceries. Sorry, I can't. Can you ask someone else, please? That's it. That's all you have to do. Okay, resume. There's small situations like that, and then there's also like big ones. Whether it be a huge financial decision, like if you're trying to sell something, or sexually is where you're gonna cause the most trauma, or in relationships, if you don't know how to say no to people who are requesting big things of you, like sexual favors or like to stay in a relationship that you don't really 100% want to be in, you're going to have a lot of difficulty in life. And I had so much difficulty in life. I wouldn't say no to anything for the longest time until really recently. I just learned how to do this. There are so many situations where I'm like, "Oh my god, I should not have done that. Why did I do that?" And then especially when it's sexual, if someone requests something of you sexually, and in your body language you show that you're not 100% into it, but they're like begging you, and then you do it anyways because you feel bad, and clearly they want it so bad, they're begging. Then afterwards, after it's over, you feel like a victim, but it's like you didn't get yourself out of the situation because you didn't know how. And it's like, while I wish that person wouldn't take advantage and would read your body language and know like, "Oh, this person isn't really into it, I should stop pressuring them, I should stop pushing them," that's not always the case. And so you have to stand up for yourself. Like there was so many times in my adolescence where someone literally would beg for me to like kiss them or have sex with them or whatever, and I just ended up doing it because I was scared, and because I still wanted them to like me even though I didn't even like them. But something deep down in my subconscious was so insecure that I felt like I needed to do whatever they wanted of me so that they would approve of me, if that makes sense. So the first step I took in learning how to say no and kind of stand up for myself was developing a sense of self-worth, because I genuinely thought that everyone else was better than me for some reason, because I was so insecure about myself that I just thought everyone was better than me and everyone was deserving of whatever they wanted, I guess. So whenever they'd ask something of me, I would just say yes, because that was just my go-to response was yes. It was such a yes girl, such a people pleaser. And I was also so afraid of looking like a cunt, like looking like I was just mean. I didn't want people to call me mean. I wanted to be the nice girl. But you can be nice and have boundaries, and no one ever showed me that. No one ever taught me how to set boundaries. No one ever told me about the difference between boundaries and being mean. Like, going out of your way to hurt someone is mean. Saying rude things is mean, but like, if someone asks you to do something and you say no, that's never mean. You are in control of your own body. You're not being mean. You're being nice to yourself. You're putting yourself first, and putting yourself first is okay. Like, you have to put yourself first. You are only responsible for one person on this earth, and it's yourself. That's it. So yeah, I just cared way too much about other people. And like, it sounds so stupid because like, you should care about other people, right? But you shouldn't care about other people more than you care about yourself. And most of the time when I was in these type of situations, I somehow would like convince myself that I actually did want to do the thing that they wanted me to do. I don't really know why that happens. Maybe some sort of trauma response, but that was my like automatic reaction to someone asking me to do something. Even if I didn't feel 100% sure of it, my go-to response is yes. I would always say yes, and then maybe like kind of take it back later, but like, oh, it's too late. I already said I'd do it. Now I have to stick to my word. But what I learned is that if it's a maybe, it's a no. If you have any sort of uneasy, worried feeling in your gut, just say no, or say let me think about it, or like distance yourself from the situation for a while until you have thought it through and decided it's actually something that's good for you and actually something that you want to do. Literally, no matter what it is, like down to the smallest little tiny things. Like, I have an example. I bought this mobile home and then I flipped it, right? I like fixed it up, and then when I went to sell it, there was this man. I was very eager to sell the thing, okay? I have an item, I want to sell it for a decent amount of money, and someone came and offered to buy it for me. And this man kind of like, when he went through the house, he nitpicked every little detail of my work. I think he was kind of manipulative, whether he knew it or not. He nitpicked every little detail of the house to the point where I didn't think he was gonna buy it, and then at the end he like gave me an offer that was really shit. And then for some reason, even though I felt really uneasy, I almost agreed to it. And then I ended up getting out of the situation in the end, because I was like, wait a damn minute, like, no, this isn't what I want. I know I don't want this, so why am I agreeing to it? But the man like made me feel so nervous and powerless. Like, I always think if someone's smarter than me, then I just need to do what they say and do what they request of me. But like, they're not. Like, just because it was like a 40-year-old man who knew something about construction or whatever doesn't mean that he's smarter than me. And I just needed a second to think it through before I was like, wait a minute, no, I don't want this at all, actually. But I felt that feeling of maybe when I was talking to him, and I still agreed to it for some reason. All I needed to do was think about it. So like, whenever you're in a situation where you feel any sort of uneasiness and someone is asking something of you, fucking take some time to think it through. Like, never ever give a definitive answer to anything you don't feel 1,000% sure about. Like, if it's a maybe, you just need to think about it for sure. Unless you are like so into the decision. But yeah, thinking through what you're gonna do before you do it. That's like the only reason I got out of that situation, is because I had thought it through prior to the meeting. And I knew I didn't actually want that. So I don't know why I even considered it for a second, but like I was so scared of saying no to someone that I almost said yes just to avoid saying no. Even though I didn't want what he was offering. I didn't want it. Like, it all just stems from insecurity. But the more you value yourself, the easier this is going to get. And the more you look at yourself like a prize, like something people are desperately want, the more you have to say no, because you can't, if you're a prize, you can't just give away the prize to everyone. Like, if you have something of value, no matter what it is, career wise, sexually, relationship wise, whatever, friendship wise, you can't give yourself to everyone. Otherwise, you're obviously not that valuable. Like, you have to decide your self worth and you have to decide your standards ahead of time. Like, it's good to even write them out. If you write them out and thoroughly think this through, like, what do I want and what don't I want? And then practice getting to that situation and actually saying no and being okay. Like, if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry, but these are my rules. These are my principles, these are my values, and I don't want to do that thing because it goes against my values. If you're going to be hurt about it, that's your own problem and that has nothing to do with me. Like, I'm not going to feel bad for that. I'm not going to feel bad for hurting someone else's feelings. Other people are responsible for their own feelings. You can't make everyone happy. Like, people are going to ask things of you that you don't necessarily want to do. And you know what? They might be sad. Let them be sad. Who cares? It's okay. You're not hurting them. You're not going out of your way to harm them. They're trying to get something from you. And so if you don't want to give it up, then don't. But that's their own problem, not yours. That's not your problem. So you have to take responsibility. So, like, for the longest time, especially the sexual things, I would make myself the victim and look at the other person like they were evil and like they had horrible intentions, which, you know, they probably aren't the best people if they just ignored my like body language. But at the end of the day, like, I have control over my own body, and if I wanted to get myself out of that situation, I could have, and I didn't even try. And like, a big scary man trying to have sex with you is it's obviously terrifying to say no, but the more you practice it, the easier it's going to get. And like, if you never say no, you can't be the victim. How can you be the victim if you agreed, or if you, I mean, sometimes I literally said no, but then I didn't move my body. Like, I didn't physically get up and leave. I would just say no and then stay and then let the thing happen to me. But like, you have to say no with your physical language and your verbal language, both, as best as you can. Obviously, sometimes they're not going to listen, and that's fucking horrible. And that sucks. But you got to do what you can. You can't just like sit there and let shit happen to you. No one taught me this. It's so sad. Poor Hank. Yeah, I thought everyone else was better than me, and then I would just do whatever they wanted because I had no self-worth. So now, in order to reverse that, I kind of had to start thinking that I was better than other people, which sounds so fucked up. I don't actually think that. I'm just trying to combat like, I'm trying to find a balance. So hopefully it evens out. Because I was like way down here, and now I'm like a little conceited, if anything. But it has made it a lot easier for me to keep myself out of positions I don't want to be in by reminding myself, like, I don't even like you. Why do I care if you like me? I don't even like you. Why would that matter? Why would your opinion of me matter to me if I don't even like you? That doesn't make any sense. What else did I write down? Oh, it's okay to change your mind. If you say yes to something and then like an hour later you're unsure in any capacity, it's okay to change your mind. Like, just because you said yes doesn't mean you have to follow through with something. It's better to think on it, decide you don't actually want that thing, you don't actually want to do that thing, and change your mind and just like kind of screw the person over. It's better to do that than to literally harm yourself, like, or put yourself in a position that you don't want to be in. Like, it's okay to change your mind. It is okay. Yeah, it's ideal if you start off with saying maybe, let me think on it. But in the beginning stages, you might accidentally say yes and then realize you don't want to do it. And that's okay. You can go back on your word. You do not have to follow through with everything. It's good to be someone who follows through on their word, but it takes time to learn, and you're never going to learn if you just keep following through with everything. The goal is to say, let me think about it, and then say no if you're unsure. Or if you're not 100% sure that you want to do the thing, just say no. But if you forget, or if you fall back into old habits and you say yes, and then a little bit later you decide you don't actually want to do that, or if you're unsure, go back on your word. Who cares? Who cares? No one actually gives a fuck. The guy I was talking to at the pool gave an example where he's like, if my friends will ask me to go to the bar, and I will usually agree because I feel bad because they want to see me, and I'll feel bad if I don't go. But sometimes you have shit to do. I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, I was gonna say, like, your friends want you there, and that's nice if you come, but they're not gonna fucking cry if you don't come. They don't care that much. Like, chill. They're gonna be just fine. They're gonna have just as good of a night. Like, they can't be that dependent on you. There's no way they're that dependent on you that they're gonna be so upset if you don't come to the thing. What time is it? I have to go to work, y'all, but having self-worth is so important. You need to put yourself, oh my god, you need to put yourself, hold yourself at a higher value. And oh shit, I'm late for work. Okay, I'll finish this later. Bye. Love you. Okay, I made it to the gym and to work and back. But anyways, you need to start asking yourself more questions like, can I do better? Do I deserve better than this? And most likely you do. Most likely you can. Like, this is a small example, but I remember this to this day. Me and my friend Nina were shopping at Melrose, where there's like the little tents with all the like thrifted clothing in it, and I was looking for a jacket because I didn't have a coat back home where it's cold as fuck. And I was looking for this coat, and I needed something warm and I needed something cute. And I picked out a coat, and I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, I better pick this one because I don't know if I'm going to come across something better than this. Like, this is pretty good, like, this will do the job. It's not hideous. So I better get this one. It's cheap. It's pretty good, And Serena just kept looking at me every coat that I picked out, and she was like, we can do better. We can do better. And it just, like, obviously I applied this to bigger things in life, but I remember that moment so specifically because we fucking did find better. I found the cutest jacket. It was a little bit more expensive, you know? But I found the cutest fucking jacket I've ever owned that day because she kept making me put the coats back, the ones that I said were good enough and were cute and cheap and whatever, and she kept making me put the coats back, and I found the cutest leather Levi's jacket that I literally love to death. Like, I'm gonna keep it for fucking 20 years. It is a perfect jacket. Just because she kept saying, we can do better. Because she could feel my energy. She could feel that I wasn't 100% sure on a jacket. Like, this can be applied to little things and big things. If you're not 100,000% sure, if you don't, like, when I found the leather jacket, I was like, oh my fucking god, this is the cutest jacket I've ever seen in my whole entire life. I need to have it now. I have to have this jacket. I have to get it. Like, I don't even care. I didn't even care how much it cost then because I was like, holy shit, this jacket is perfect. It was a perfect jacket. I loved the jacket. I still do. I'm gonna love it forever. I'm gonna keep it forever. Like, it's a perfect, timeless jacket. And you need to treat everything in your life that way. If your energy is the slightest bit off, better things will come. They will. You just have to be patient and you have to wait. Better things will come. Don't say yes to something out of fear. Don't say yes to something because you're unsure if something better will come. It will. Be patient and have faith. Also, the more you respect yourself, the more other people are going to respect you. People respect people who respect themselves. So if you practice choosing your principles over your feelings and emotions, people are going to start to respect you. They're going to look at you and be like, damn, that's a person who really respects themselves, because they know that the principles and morals that they have set out are going to benefit them better in the long run than their short-term feelings. So you have to say no to some things. And that's okay, because better things will come. They will, I promise. Be patient and be faithful and respect yourself, respect your body, respect your boundaries. It's okay to say no, and if you make someone upset, fuck them. That's all I have today. Love y'all.